Martin and Scott Roscoe. It's Tulson Tollett and newcomer Giles Thomas. And up front, Tony Mestrov, Kim Howard, Russell Bowden, Robbie Beasley and Peter Gill. And the captain, the first of Steve-O's key men, Terry Mattison.
One of the most experienced players in rugby league, the Broncos loose forward has all the attacking skills to break down even the best of defences. Mattison is all class, and his short bursts and offloads, especially from the dummy half position, will be critical towards a London victory today. If he's in top form, the Broncos will fire.
Terry Mattison's the loose forward. He's the London Broncos captain, and he will wear 13. And on the bench, Matt Dumford, Matt Salter, Andrew Hamilton and Wes Cotton. And the coach is Tony Curry, who I'm sure needs no introduction to our viewers down under. Now the Sharks from Cronulla. They have David Peachey at fullback. The three-quarter line is quite awesome. Matt Rogers, Andrew Ettingshausen, Russell Richardson and Richard Barnett.
The big Kiwi international winger is one of the fastest players in Super League. London just cannot afford to give him room to move. He is quite electric. He's a difficult man to stop, especially close to the try line, has a great stepping game and possesses a wonderful ability to collect the high attacking kicks from Mitch Healy into the corners. Keep your eye out for this sensational star.
Adam Dykes and Mitch Healy at half. And up front it's Jason Stevens, Dean Treaster and Danny Lee, Craig Greenhill and Sean Ryan, with Chris McKenna, formerly of the London Broncos, at 31, the loose forward. And on the bench, Paul Donaghy, Nathan Long, Jeff Bell and Les Davidson, the veteran. The coach is John Lang. Underway, and underneath it was David Peachey, the fullback, and he just tips the pass inside. And that's good chase by the Broncos. Gill there and Mestrov too, to bring the first runner down. It was Craig Greenhill with the first run of this match. Now this is Dean Treaster trying to scamper away from dummy half. Peter Gill gets to him. And there's the formidable figure of Jason Stevens. He takes it to within 10 metres of the halfway line. Now Danny Lee for the Sharks. Good tackling early on here though by the London Broncos in the opening half minute, and they will have to do that all afternoon to hang on to this Sharks team. The kick from Healy wasn't the best. Martin is able to run it back towards the halfway line. Martin is the man in at dummy half, and here now is Scott Roscoe, the record try scorer for the London Broncos.
Disappointing kick there by the little
offside
halfback
against Cronulla.
Mitch Healy, they were keen to move off the mark. The big prop forward Danny Lee leading the charge, and you could see that he wasn't square at the play of the ball either. So two options there for the official Stuart Cummings, but a pretty good set of six defensively wise for the Broncos.
Tulson Tollett maybe playing his last match for the Broncos. Here he is now in possession. He tips the ball back to Mestrov. Mestrov is hauled down by Treaster. This is Robbie Beasley. Beasley looking for the runners. The runner arrived, but he was drilled into the ground. That was Kim Howard.
Over the top there, and the little fellow went underneath, and rightly seen by the official. The swinging arm, the young Thomas went through, and it was Sean Ryan that went for the head. Well, the youngster, not much experience in Super League, only seconds in fact. Just ducked underneath that. Well, a lack of discipline by the Sharks so far. That's the second penalty they've given away.
So penalty to London, and this is an opportunity for Terry Mattison to give London Broncos the lead. Will line the sights up. 2 tries against the Raiders in July here, and of course Terry Mattison was the man of the match for Brisbane in the 1992 World Club Challenge clash against Wigan. 3 goals only though in this competition so far, and the London coach Tony Curry, who'll need no introduction to our viewers down under. Neither will this fellow, Mattison. Toe-end style of kicking, but he's missed it. Well, that could be costly.
Sure could, but the main thing that it went dead in goal, so they will receive the football from the dropout on the quarter line. Perhaps a little bit of adrenaline, nerves running through the body of Terry Madison. There's a lot of experience in rugby league.
Here's Russell Bowden now to run the ball back again at the Sharks, getting the Broncos to the halfway line. Beasley dummy half, Mattison takes over, the captain, tackle low by Treaster, good tackle too, Danny Lee was in there as well. Beasley again trying to scamper away, but Treaster working hard at the marker position. Mattison, he gets the ball away to Mestrov, who attracted some great publicity in Australia with his no-nonsense style, and that's lovely hands. This is Thomas.
Good support there by the little halfback. Madison figuring prominently early. He really does have the ball skills as a loose forward.
Tollett with a high hanging kick. Oh, brilliantly claimed by Richie Barnett.
Super take. Exceptional take there by the winger. The New Zealander really has got plenty of pace. They cannot allow him much room to move.
Danny Lee takes the tackle from Mestrov and from Bowden, the two prop forwards today in the Broncos side. This now is Stevens again. One test under his belt against New Zealand last Friday.
Good defence there. Mestrov going low. Gill just finishing him off at the top.
The kick from Healy is a good one, and everyone on side, and the speedsters are arriving, and Marden is taking the gamble, and he might have really gone for the sucker punch here, because Marden was waiting, and Rogers and Ettinghausen were steaming up, and Rogers, I think, has got a touch on this, and I think this is a try.
Little doubt, providing he's got downward pressure, but what on earth was the fullback doing? He's missed it. They are very, very fortunate. Nick Marden will breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, he took a huge gamble, and you can see that Rogers just missed the football. I think the winger, Rogers, was so surprised that it was there, and he just, fortunately for the London Broncos, it stood still. It just jolted back, didn't it, rather than roll forward.
Unbelievable. But what was Nick Marden thinking about?
Well, he was half asleep. I mean,
it was a huge call from the referee, Steve-O, that these fellas were all onside. This is going to be no try.
But what a great kick from Mitch Healy. We knew that his kicking game would be important. Well, Rogers will be just thinking about that going through the mind. Why on earth he didn't get the hand to the ball? But I think the ball just bounced backwards just for a moment.
It stood up, didn't it? The last roll that Marden thought was going to roll over the line, and it stayed in the field of play. How lucky was Nick Marden and the London Broncos there? This is Kim Howard. 5 minutes gone, 0-0. It could have easily been such a different story. Mestrov now. Good tackling by Danny Lee. Mattison to Tollett. Offside again against the Sharks. Stuart Cummings pretty quick to ping them at the play of the ball, and a quick tap penalty by the Broncos. They're running this. It's Marden. Offloads the ball well to Tollett. Well, early indications here that maybe there is a chance for the London Broncos. Written off in many, many quarters. Kim Howard drives them to within 15 metres of the line. Mattison will make some cheap yards up the middle. Shoves the pass then into the chest of Beasley, and Beasley went for the line, and desperate defence by the Cronulla Sharks. Here now is Gill. Gill then back to the youngster, Thomas. Thomas can't make any progress. Beasley acting halfback. He finds Tollett. Tollett long ball to Martin. Martin gets the try. What a start for London. Tony Martin with the first 4 points of this quarter-final. Tony Martin with his first try in the World Club Championship, and that was tremendous approach work from the Broncos and great finishing.
What a great comeback from there. They nearly conceded a try. Beasley out wide. Tollett did the right thing. You saw the dummy runner. They just left that little gap. It was sufficient for the centre Martin to go through. But Madison was in full control here. Through the dummy. Good support play by the hooker Beasley. They're finding the gaps in and around the play the ball area. Quick play the ball. Tollett did well. You could see how they were coming back. It was Marden, the fullback, they used as a dummy. It was sufficient to prize the half opening. And you can see there it was desperation by the centre, Richardson. And Martin in for a try. What a start.
What a start indeed. He's 19 on Tuesday, is Tony Martin. A nominee for the Young Player of the Year award. Tremendous in defence against Canberra, but how was that for attack here against the Sharks? Tony Martin. Great start then for London. And Terry Mattison, he missed with the first penalty shot he had. Now he has this conversion attempt. Difficult though, that's the angle.
Time on.
For Mattison. Tony Curry, the London coach, very confident, I must say, when I spoke to him this week, that the Broncos come up with yet another surprise. Mattison, that front-on style of his is going to be absolutely pinpoint accurate. 4-0 though, London ahead.
See the full-back Martin coming back on the inside, and you can see Richardson is just hesitating sufficiently enough for Martin to get through. And the big centre couldn't stop him. But what great approach play by the London Broncos. Terry Mattison leading the way, runs from the dummy half position. They're finding the gaps in and around the play the ball area.
And good tackling by Gill and Tollett then. And Craig Greenhill didn't like the tackle.
Too high by Terry Mattison. Lack of concentration there by the skipper.
Jason Stevens felt that.
Did he ever? I know it's pretty prominent to get in there and make sure that they know that they're in with a pretty tough game of football. But he'll be displeased with that, Terry Mattison, and so will his coach, Tony Curry. They've given away a lot of ground to the Cronulla Sharks.
Yes, they're in the London half of the field, and Stevens again getting one in the face from Kim Howard this time. And Stevens doesn't like it. Threw the ball into the face of the London second rower.
Well, I can't believe the tactics there. I mean, they know that Stevens is a rough and tough player himself. But for Kim Howard to be swinging them, remember Howard, a local Cronulla boy, just came in virtually off the plane and asked the London Broncos, can I have the opportunity to play? But that's two areas, lack of discipline has allowed Cronulla.
Kim Howard, by the way, sorry Steve-O, is the nephew, of course, of the Australian Prime Minister. I don't think he would be too impressed, A, with the tackle and then with the reaction from Jason Stevens.
Well, not even the Prime Minister will get him off if he does it again.
This is Peachy! Peachy looking for support, there it is! Tremendous try from Richardson. I beg your pardon. It is Richardson, yes. Russell Richardson with the try. His ninth in this championship.
Then put that down to poor play, ill discipline, 2 penalties got them in this position. They are just outstanding. See how they use their dummy runner. Fatnauna went out wide. Peachy, the fullback, came back on the inside, and Richardson, the centre, gleefully accepts it. Beautiful three-quarter play. You can see there Healy brought the ball back on the inside. Dyke, then Peachy. Such talent as a fullback. See how he offloaded so well. Good support by Richardson. But they'll be ruining the fact, the Broncos, that they allowed Cronulla to get into this position. He's all skill as a fullback, Peachy. So is this kid Richardson. Fine try.
Well, he was in marvellous form, was Russell Richardson in the first phases of this competition. And Matt Rogers from bang in front. And he gives Cronulla Sharks the lead. Well, they've paid the penalty for 2 pieces of indiscipline, London.
There you see the dummy runner. He'll take on 2 defenders. And once they get the ball out wide, Dykes gleefully. There's another dummy runner. Look at the step there. Butch Fatnauna went wide, out wide. There was no one in to fill on the sliding defence. And Richardson gleefully accepts the 4.
So, Cronulla ahead. And when you think, had Terry Mattison brought his kicking boots with him, London could still have been ahead. It should really have been 8-0. Now, though, the Sharks ahead by 6 points to 4. And I think underneath all that was Tony Mestrov. Tollett, they're finding gaps. Out wide is Martin Afire. And Afire heading up the touchline. Great tackle back by Ettinghausen. Wonderful speed, though, from Afire. He's lost none of the toe. And here now is Bowden. And Bowden, the quick play the ball, called Cronulla offside.
Right, it was. It went a little bit too high as well. But they failed to get back the 10 metres. Good play by the London Broncos, mainly because of the fact they played the ball so quickly. And you can see these 4 or 5 of the Sharks made no attempt to come back the 10. That's the reason why the official pinned them. But this was great stuff. Tollett out wide. Martin a fire. He took on E.T. and E.T. just got to him. Peachy was coming across. Super stuff.
Time off.
And look at the quick play of the ball. They're up for this at the London Broncos. Well, Martin a fire, classified a few years ago as the fastest man in the world. And I think it just for a second there, it looked as though he had the legs over E.T. But the experienced E.T. came back with a super tackle.
Well, the London Broncos have made a change in their kicking department. As you can see, Tony Martin is going to have this shot at goal, and Tony Curry has offered the youngster the responsibility, and he has never kicked before in his short professional career, Tony Martin, but he must have been kicking in practice and in training. So this penalty from Martin, it's got the height, has it got the distance? Yes, it has. Well, it seemed to take an eternity to get there, but Tony Martin found the mark, and London 6-all.
Well, you could hardly say this was a copybook followed through. It was more of a little 9-iron out of the sand dunes, but it certainly made its mark. He was shaking his head, but I'm sure the coach, Tony Curry, was gleeful to take those 2 points. 2 wayward attempts from Terry Mattison earlier.
Well, Greg Barwick is out injured of the London side, and he is normally their reliable goal kicker, and they might rue the fact that Barwick is not fit to play in this match. But if Martin keeps popping them over like that, maybe they won't.
Well, there's obviously a problem with Terry Mattison, because we've seen over the years that he's quite a prolific kicker.
Look at that possession. London 67% of the football so far, and they've made good use of it too. 13 minutes of the match gone, 6-all. A better start probably than a lot of people dare hope, and they've lost it. Richardson put that ball down.
Just took his eye off the ball just at the last moment. You can see he was just having a little glance there at the winger Roskell and the centre Tony Martin. He really has got a great future, this kid, though.
That's his average error rate for the match.
Certainly been one of the stars of this World Club Championship, that there's little doubt.
Tollett dummy half. Thomas now, and he pops the ball back to Mattison. Mattison, though, is caught by Trista, and there is one of the Cronulla players down and injured.
Good work by the
Sean Ryan.
Good work by Dean Trista. He's working hard in the first and second marker role.
Here's Peter Gill. Peter Gill to Bowden, and he goes on the diagonal run. It was well watched, but he manages to get the pass away to Beasley. He slipped the ball brilliantly then. That's the last one.
Good work by the prop forward. They really are finding these gaps near the play the ball area.
Tollett dabs the ball through, and Barnett picks it up. Martin got to him, stopped his progress, but he still managed to get back into the field of play.
Good kick and chase there by the Broncos, but the experienced Richard Barnett, the Kiwi winger, anticipated that, went back.
Now Danny Lee. Good tackling by Peter Gill. Low around the ankles. Neat run there from Greenhill. Trista's the dummy half, and now it's with Stevens. Stevens then to Lee.
Using the big forwards now. Will the kick from Healy be forthcoming? No, they're going to get it out wide. Oh, here it is.
There's the kick, and they're all onside again. As Martin learned his lesson, well, he doesn't need to worry. That one went dead. Quite narrow in-goal area here at the Stoop. And we noticed also, didn't we, Steve-O, that there was maybe a shaving of grass or two taken off that immediately before the start of this game. A little tactic maybe by the Broncos to make it a bit more speedy in the in-goal area when those kicks through from Healy come.
And also the fact that they could have played with the rugby union in-goal area, which is very deep indeed. And you can see it about 2 meters further back from the dead in goal line that they've elected for. So it all helps. I'm sure that Tony Carey wants every advantage.
There's promising little runs coming in from Giles Thomas every time he gets the ball, but just now it's with Marden, who plays it to Beasley. This is Tollett. There's Thomas. And he puts the good kick in over the top, but easy really for Peachy. just moved across, swooped on the ball as it came out of the sky. Good tackling though by Roskill and Martin.
Once again, we see a good kick and chase game from the Broncos, and they'll need to have that throughout the entire game. Peachy really is outstanding, has got a lot of speed and skills, as we've already seen, creating the first try for Richardson.
5 missed tackles in the match, and London have caused 3 of them. There's Greenhill again. Good tackling though by Fatnauna on that occasion. I must say, the opening 16 and a half minutes, and I hope I'm not going to hex them here, the defence has been good. This is Richardson again. He gets the pass away brilliantly. Barnett hangs on. 20 metres away, he is grounded. Now then there's Peachy. Peachy then to Healy, looking for the runner on the inside. It was Ettingshausen. He escaped the clutches of those two, but again the scrambling defence comes back and cuts him down. Last tackle here for the Sharks, and they're running it. And why not? This is
it's going to be a penalty. They've used the man in front, the Shepherd. They were running hot with the Sharks, but you see there that Adam Dykes has used the man across. It was Richardson, I think, that was coming inside. Now Richard Barnett was the winger.
I don't know what you mean.
And he took the man out. Well, they were running hot there, the Sharks. London was struggling to get their defensive pattern sorted out. The use of the dummy runner out wide is causing a lot of problems to the Broncos defence. Dykes and Healy getting the link working very quickly.
Second in European Super League, London Broncos. Second in the league ladder, the Cronulla Sharks down under. And a really competitive quarter-final thus far. 18 minutes of the match gone. 6 points apiece. And London giving a very good account of themselves with Matheson at the moment. There's Thomas. Now Tollett. He kicks over the top, looks for the touchline this side and finds it. The Kiwi winger Richie Barnett not interested.
Good play there by the standoff Telson Tollett, gave himself plenty of room. No chance of the Sharks applying any pressure, and they realise, especially that man there, that there's no point in kicking it down the throat of David Peachy.
Matt Dunford comes on, and the man he's replaced is Kim Howard, who really was involved in plenty of the early action. Now can Dunford maintain the momentum?
Stay in.
And the Sharks trying to run it again. Richardson once more. Tollett got to him, but he still managed to release the pass. And again, good hands.
Good work by Roskill there, coming off the wing.
Did well. He brought Sean Ryan down, who wasn't too impressed with the fact that he wasn't allowed to get up and play the ball quickly.
Swinging arm there from Matt Dunford. It certainly made its mark.
It did. Chris McKenna felt that, and he's needing some treatment in back play as Stevens drives it up again for the Sharks. Now Greenhill taking on Tollett, who did well. And McKenna's got blood coming down from the nose.
Sure indication that it certainly made its mark. Quite a few of these head eyes going off. 3 cheap shots.
Well claimed by Martin, under pressure from Rogers, who was onside according to referee Stuart Cummings.
Well, a nervous start by the fullback, allowing the ball to nearly go in goal dead. Nearly produced a try for Matt Rogers, but he showed the confidence there. He's had a fine season as a Scottish fullback.
Yes, Scottish international fullback Nick Martin. Great Britain international Martin afire on the ball at the moment. Terry Matheson, the captain, at dummy half. He gives it to Fatnauna. Good tackle by Rogers on Fatnauna. This is Beasley again.
Good work by the hooker. He's working overtime. Here's Beasley.
Gill. And a little half break from Peter Gill. He broke through 2 tacklers then. Thomas is the man in support. And Thomas is on his own. Can he get away from Peachy? No, he can't. Great tackling back by Peachy, but great sweeping attack from the Broncos. And here's Tollett. And now it's with Gill, who started this move. He finds Martin. And Martin is all wrapped up by McKenna. And that's on the last tackle. It's the turnover. They went for the power play.
Just lost the plot there in the last one. They went far too high on Gill. He raced through. Good support there by Giles Thomas. And he did the right thing. He knew it wasn't the last tackle at this one. But perhaps London would have been better served to make sure that they got a kicker down there, put it in the in-goal area and applied the pressure. Oh, that'll be a penalty. 2-on-1.
Yes. Ball stolen. Richardson was on the deck, and Matheson and Defire were all over him.
Well, they realise the quality of this young centre, and that's why they're trying to get to him as quick as you can. But you can see Matheson reefing the ball away with Martin Defire, well and truly in contact with the ball carrier.
Chris McKenna's gone off the field into the blood bin with that nose streaming blood, and so Nathan Long comes on.
It's obviously a broken nose. He's having trouble breathing.
Been waiting for a while to see this Nathan Long in the flesh. We've seen him during the course of this year in the World of Super League, and he looks a formidable runner. At the moment, though, they're not using him. They're looking out wide to find Barnett, and that was an untidy pass, and Barnett managed to make something out of it. Then Roskell got the tackle in. Here he is, Long. Look at those runs. That run from him.
Come on.
Mestrov stood up to the challenge well then, though, on that occasion. Here's Healy. Out wide it goes to Barnett. Barnett standing, but eventually has to take the tackle from Roskell. Healy now used Lee as a foil to go on the blind side. Came this way instead and found Dykes.
Good defence, though. Borden and Beasley.
There's Long. Tremendous tackle it was by Robbie Beasley on Long. Now Healy. This is the last tackle. They're running it again. Chances here once more, and he's got the ball down. Has Sean Ryan. That will be another try for the Sharks. They just didn't have the strength to hold the big fellow up. And Ryan, who played for New South Wales in the Tri-Series, gets a try here at the Stoop.
Typical example of a forward running full chat onto the football. Beautiful long ball out wide. Look how he pops it up. Superb effort. Just a chance there to pop it down. They were trying to spin him over onto his back. Outstanding effort. Quick pass from the floor from the hooker, Dean Treaster. There you see Healy. They run the power play. Beautiful pass from Dyke. The big forward Ryan. Determined run. Little doubt he got good pressure down. Good positioning by the official Stuart Cummings. No need to go to the video replay on this. Superb passing though. Notice how Richardson was coming back on the inside as a dummy runner just to confuse the defence even more.
Well, he's waited a long time for that try, over 2 years. That's his first of the season, Sean Ryan, and he's got it 12,000 miles from home. Now Matt Rogers with a trusty left boot, just tried to curl it over the top of the crossbar, but didn't manage it on that occasion. So damage limited for the Broncos. Cronulla 10, London Broncos 6.
Beautiful example of a very quick pass out wide. The combination of Healy and Dykes. Look how Dykes runs on the angle. Watch how the forward comes through. See how Richardson went on the inside, made the defence hesitate. Well worked there by the Sharks. That was a fine try.
Mestrov running the ball out again, met by Treaster and Long. Bowden goes off and Andrew Hamilton comes on. So Tony Curry is working his forwards, spelling them, allowing them a bit of a breather. And you get the feeling that London have to hit back quickly to stay in this match. There's a fire. That's terrific defence from Matt Rogers. Good defence again from Danny Lee. Now Matheson. Tried to spin in the tackle. That's the last one. Only 34 metres gained by London. A few more now, though. Tollett. He was clipped late there as he got that kick in. And he stayed down as Tolson Tollett. Treaster was very late coming to him.
Well, the touch judge certainly was looking at that. Treaster applied the pressure, and just as Tollett had released the football, well, had he committed himself. It's a fine line. Either way, Tollett would have felt it. But good work, though, by the hooker. Two hookers out there that are playing extremely well, Treaster and Beasley.
Here's E.T. Tollett is beaten by the step of Peachy. Good tackling. Johnny Martin, Scott Roskell. To the halfway line with Greenhill. Treaster, the man at dummy half. And Long now. Big hit by Andrew Hamilton.
Was it ever? Beasley going low yet again. He's got through some work in the defensive department.
They're dangerous though when they get this ball out wide. This three-quarter line of theirs is a flying machine.
On top of that, the Cronulla pack are getting over the advantage line a little bit easier than they were in the opening 10 minutes.
Adam Dykes with the high kick. Nick Martin safe as houses underneath the high ball. I must say it was a shaky start from the fullback, but he's recovered his composure well.
A little bit too far there was that kick. There was no chance of the Sharks to get anywhere near the fullback, even though he did take it well. Wasn't under any deal of great pressure.
Tollett. This is Roscoe, who's moved it to inside Tony Martin. Oof. Greenhill came in to make sure that no further progress would be made. Here's Hamilton again.
Well, the tackle wasn't complete, and it every right to the big second row Greenhill to come in there and finish off the tackle.
Dunford, that's a good ball to Mestrov, and that's a great ball to Gill. And Gill looking for support, and there it is from Roscoe. And Roscoe goes round Richardson and keeps the movement going to Dunford again, but Dunford eventually has to take the tackle from Russell Richardson. Tollett, then to Thomas, and Thomas a scampering little run. He gets the ball away to Fatnauer. What a try! What a ball from Thomas, and how London created that try with some super handling skills. And Giles Thomas, the man who came up with the last killer punch, and he fed Fatnauer, who was over the line. Tremendous try.
What a team effort by the London Broncos. That really was superb. It came from a break from the prop forward. Mestrov offloaded. Gill, as always, in support. Went back on the inside. Did well, did Roscoe. Offloaded there. Dunford came through. Quick play the ball out wide. Well, they said he'd not much experience, but look how he draws them in. What a sensational pass. He made E.T. just clutch nothing. E.T. goes for the dummy. Whoops. What a great try from Fatnauer. Superb stuff. The youngster kidded the experienced centre. Whoop. Andrew Ettinghausen was clutching nothing but air while that guy was scoring. Wore one sensational four-pointer.
On his World Club Championship debut as well, Butch Fatnauer, formerly of Workington Town. And Martin, well, they're going to have trouble with this goal kicking. I'm afraid it looked a little ominous early when Matheson gave the job to Martin. And now Martin has missed what for Greg Barwick would have been a simple 2 points.
There's E.T. Watch him clutch. The rabbit was not there. This guy was. What a superb effort. Outstanding rugby league football.
Terrific try from Fatnauer. And the scores here at the Stoop are now level. 10 points all. And what a debut young Giles Thomas is having. Young man born in Worcester, 5 minutes in Super League prior to today, and now here he is up against the best in the world, and he is not being overawed at all. 10 all at the Stoop, and as I say, from a European perspective, better than we dared hope after the 3-0 in terms of defeats that we've suffered this weekend. But look at Long, this man is dangerous. Oh, what a terrific run. He just lost his footing. Credit Nick Martin for coming out to meet him though and putting him off his stride. Now here's Dykes and Healy. They're sweeping the ball out wide. This is Peachy. Peachy's all wrapped up and they've got the ball back.
Perhaps lucky to get at it that there was two men.
He was trying to force the pass though.
Fatnauer was there. That's the reason why the referees perhaps played on. And the chance gone begging. Swinging arm there, and Martin Afire. This is the incident where the ball's gone away. There definitely was two players there, and Martin Afire has caught a beauty. That was a high shot.
I think it was by Greenhill.
I mentioned a few earlier in this match. Stuart Cummings seems quite okay with a lot of them, but talk about a facial massage again. Both sides are doing it. Greenhill certainly made the mark. Well, they're going down like flies at the moment. Martin the Fire ruefully looks across at the big second rower, Craig Greenhill.
Andrew Hamilton's now needing some treatment.
I think he just bounced on his back there.
It's a big hit, wasn't it? So the tackle count will restart. Oh, and that's dangerous. That could have been so dangerous as Stevens dumped Tony Mestrov to the ground. Actually, I think Danny Lee came off worse.
Well, before that, Nathan Long went in very late as the ball was being passed. A few cheap shots going on.
Well, they won't be enjoying this, Cronulla, there's no doubt about that. Tollett kicks to relieve the pressure.
Well, Treaster was late again. Now, what on earth are these touch judges doing? I gave him the benefit of the doubt on the kick before from Tollett, but not on that occasion.
Here's Rogers, meanwhile, while that debate continues. Oh, that's a lovely ball to Ettinghausen. And look at the skill from Ettinghausen, but a great tackle from Martin.
It had to be as well. This is the incident. How late's that? Okay, I know it was just slowed down slightly, but the hooker, Treaster, should have been penalised.
This is Rogers, meanwhile. The Fire getting to him with Mestrov. The Fire is hurt again. Mitch Healy now. He's looking wide, he finds Dykes. And Dykes looks for the runners. And this is Richardson, and this fellow is power and pace. And 4 points for Richardson. Well, he came of age during the first phase of this World Club Championship.
Whether he's grounded that ball, Jeff, please.
The referee is not happy that the grounding maybe was slightly dodgy, but I was going to say that Richardson really did come of age during the opening phase of this championship.
Downward pressure with the upper part of the body and the arm still clutching at the football. It's often a method used in Australia all the time. He would be used to this, Richardson. They're taught at a very young age to dive with the body, and that's always given as a try in Australia. Trouble is, they ain't down under.
Russell Richardson then, a grand final try against Brisbane and a World Club Championship try against London. John Lang, I think he knows that his team are in a battle, but Russell Richardson with the try. So Cronulla back in front.
Well, the crowd not happy about that, Eddie, because they also thought that they should have got a penalty on the charge on Tulson Tullett from the hooker, Dean Treaster. But full credit to the Cronulla Sharks. Their linking quality is quite outstanding. See how they run the angle, then straight through. As soon as Martin and Roskell made poor attempts, this guy is just sensational. This is the incident, and that was very, very late indeed. As I mentioned before, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, but this is sheer skill. The combination of the two halfbacks. Look how he runs on the angle, on the curve. Not the best attempt by Roskell, nothing that Martin could do. That is a fine try from a very fine rugby league player.
And he's in double figures now for his tries in this World Club Championship. Matt Rogers with a difficult angle to improve matters. He strikes a beautiful ball though, doesn't he, Matt Rogers? What a kick! What would London Broncos do for a kicker of that quality? 16 points to 10, Sharks ahead.
That's the angle that he's come from, and you can see that Martin is always going to be in trouble. If he misses the tackle, it's try time. Roskell did the right thing by coming in between Richardson and the winger, but his strength got him there. That is a fine effort.
Well, they're no mugs, Cronulla Sharks, as they make another change. Stevens goes off and Les Davidson comes on. Made his first appearance in the grand final last month, and a lot of people in this country thought he was on his way to Warrington for next season, but the latest news is that he's staying exactly where he is. Les Davidson. Here's Tollett. Mestrov goes off. Bowden has returned.
That'll be play on.
Yes, in fact it's back to zero in the tackle count. So that's the zero tackle. It was touched by a Cronulla player.
But now they lost it. Cronulla player, as Eddie mentioned, just got a fingertip to it. Well spotted by the official Cummings.
Inside the last 5 minutes of the half.
Well,
London well in touch.
London Broncos getting to a good position, but you can see the firepower that the Cronulla Sharks have. Every time they launch through, the forwards get over the advantage line, and they just have so much speed and skill. Dykes and Healy really are working strong.
Long with a strong tackle there on Matheson. Tollett's little chip over the top is fielded by Barnett. Barnett gives it to Peachy. They take some risks, but the risks come off. But good tackle from Martin Afire. Here's Rogers.
Another factor about that last try, of course, Martin Afire was down injured in the back play. So the Broncos were down to 12 men. And it was great tactics by the Sharks to get it out wide.
Danny Lee flicks the ball out the back door. Dykes now. Richardson tackled by Roskill. Good tackle round the ankles.
Had to be as well. Again, you saw the qualities of Richardson not playing the ball correctly.
You shouldn't have played the ball area, you've obstructed the player. Right,
you must go back now for perhaps those people new to the game. It was played correctly, and the referee has given the penalty to the Broncos. Is that there's a Cronulla player, number 18 there, Adam Dykes, make no attempt to get back. Defending side goes back 10 metres, the attacking side 5.
Here's Beasley now, 10 metres from the line. Chance here for London to post another try just before half-time. It would be music to Tony Curry's ears if they do, but Thomas disappears under that tackle. Beasley again, the 10 metres short of the try line, and that's Dunford. Good tackling by Mitch Healy. Beasley again, here's Tollett. Tollett then to Gill, if anyone can, Gill can. Gill, angled run, gives it to Roskill, and Roskill, we tipped the ball back in field, and it was a gift there for Peachy.
Well worth the effort though to try to keep the ball alive. Took on the power play, tried to get it out wide there. But the Cronulla defence was pretty solid. As you can see, there was plenty of people there. Peachy picked it up very quickly indeed. So much skill as this David Peachy, the fullback.
Now Ettingshausen with all the pace in the world, and a lovely ball over the top to Rogers, and then a bit of trouble there. I was going to say the Broncos, unless Martin got that tackle in, and he did. Now here comes Long straight over the top of Tollett.
Great play there, quick play of the ball, and you can see that Long, that'll be play on.
It is, because London have got it back in the shape of Dunford.
Teresa went without it, but what a good run there by Nathan Long. Once they make the half break, the Cronulla Sharks, they play the ball so quickly, whilst London defence is getting back on side.
Matheson back to Dunford. Dunford then wide to Martin, then to Andrew Hamilton. Second tackle, 11 metres made by the Broncos. Thomas.
Cronulla down to 12 men. Nathan Long caught a knock. He's just slowly but surely getting back in the defence on the left-hand side there. That'll be a knock-on from Martin Afire.
Dunford slipped the pass and Martin Afire couldn't take it in. Sharks have got it back. And here goes Peachy. With good tackling by Tulson Tollett. Davidson. Penalty, messing around. Gill was certainly involved in the situation.
Well, once you've completed the tackle, you're supposed to roll away, and you can see that Gill was still hanging on to Davidson. Big substitute. Les Davidson been around, so has that fella. He's having a hard game, Peter Gill. He'll give his all.
Well, the referee wants a word with Craig Greenhill and the captain, Andrew Ettingshausen. I think Greenhill is not happy with the way that Stuart Cummings is refereeing this match.
Shouting off anymore, all right? I will deal with it from now on, okay? So if he can't sort himself out, I will take further action.
So now Greenhill knows.
I'll have a shot.
And Mitch Healy says that Matty Rogers will have a kick for goal here. I noticed before that Greenhill, Steve-O, was certainly having a right old go at referee Stuart Cummings. Something that happened, he thought, in the tackle around the play the ball, and Stuart Cummings has obviously heard enough now.
Well, he's noted for being somewhat of a hothead.
He made history, this fella, you know. He was sent off in a State of Origin match. That's almost unheard of, isn't it? He became the first man to be sent off.
I say no more.
In the State of Origin.
Virtually says it all, doesn't it? But well spotted by the referee Stuart Cummings. A dubious look on the face of Tony Kerry.
So Matt Rogers, just 10 metres inside the half, being watched by John Lang, who's making notes for his half-time team talk. And Rogers with that left foot. Well, he's got the length, but he's not got the direction. That's the half-time siren. And London are hanging on by their fingernails here, and not just hanging on, they're giving as good as they get. Tony Martin, big half from him, try and a goal, and Butch Fatnana as well with the try. But Terry Mattison, the London captain, one of the old heads in this London side, he knows that this match is certainly not beyond the team from the British capital. But Cronulla, for boxing's biggest showmen, Prince Nazim Hamed and Chris Eubank, they're part of a special pay-per-view event. For more information, call 0990 800 888. Half-time here at the Stoop, and within 6 points of one of the best teams in the world, the Cronulla Sharks. They lead by 16 points to 10 here. A place in the semi-finals of the World Club Championship at stake. Can London strike the biggest blow for the European game in the next 40 minutes? Cronulla will certainly have been stung by the first half performance and the performance of the opposition. And the one thing that London want early on is a good set of 6, and if possible, an early try. But let's get half-time news from the dressing rooms. Here's Bill.
Well, Eddie, you used the word stung. I think the Cronulla Sharks definitely will be. By all accounts, John Lang really laid into his side during that half-time interval, and the word used was pride. There's pride at stake for the Sharks here, and he's told them that victory is by no means guaranteed for them. They really are up against a determined Broncos side, and they've got to put it all in this next 40 minutes. He wants them to get back to the way he knows they can play, and I think he really has given them a rocket. Tony Curry, probably by contrast, a more measured team talk, but his emphasis has been on tightening up that defence. He wants to see his defence sliding better to try and contain these Cronulla Sharks, because he knows out wide that is where the threat is going to come from.
Into the second minute of the second half then, and it's Cronulla who are in possession. Trista was the dummy half, and London, they reversed the blood bin.
Interesting.
And I notice also, Steve, that Terry Mattison is just taking his time to get back in the defensive line.
Interested to know what Bill said down on the sideline regarding the coach, Tony Curry, that far too many breaks. They've got to tighten their defence up, and they really have to as well, mainly due to the fact out wide Russell Richardson and Andrew Ettingshausen have made 3 clean breaks each.
How about that for a precision kick?
Just made it before hitting the corner post.
Great kick from Mitch Healy.
Measured,
wasn't it?
He's had a fine game. He's obviously been instructed by the coach John Lang just to make sure that the combination with him and Dykes keeps the ball spinning out wide, and why not when you've got so much
that's
talent.
a big push at the scrum, and it's one against the head for Cronulla, and this is Adam Dykes, and a big opportunity here for the Sharks, and a real test now of this London defence early on. Peachy gets the ball away, and that's McKenna, and he's trying to scramble his way to the line. They're just half a metre short. Long ball touched in flight.
That'll be back to 6.
It is, and there's men queuing up out wide here to score, and this is Ryan, and Ryan with the power to get over through Martin for his second, and Cronulla's first of this second half. But a big push at the scrum, and it came out on the Cronulla side, rare in rugby league, but one against the head, and the first try.
So rare, in fact, I don't think the London Broncos realised it. And you can see it hit one of the second rowers' feet, but the push from Cronulla was superb. In Britain, they anticipate it's just like a play the ball. You could see that the big second row, Peter Gill, got the foot to it. They were queuing up to score out there. Ryan knew he had the strength. Martin not strong enough to keep him out. What a mistake by the London Broncos. A stray boot in the second row, kicked it back, combined with the push, allowed Ryan a good try out wide. Looks as though Nick Martin may have picked up an injury as well. Again, the long ball, combination of the two halfbacks, yet again, Dykes and Healy. Ryan gleefully gives the Cronulla Sharks the start they want in the second half.
Yes, a collective mistake by the London Broncos pack. And Rodgers tries to sweep the ball over the bar, but didn't quite have the sight set. 20 points to 10. You can't point the finger at an individual for this, but you can certainly point the finger at the way that the Broncos were pushed out of it.
Look at that, 2 superb long balls out wide. That's been a great feature of the Cronulla Sharks.
So Martin fully recovered from the rigours of that tackle, but well, he picked up a couple there from Davidson over the top, and Trista down below. Thomas helps it on to Tollett, all wrapped up by Adam Dykes, and also the try scorer Ryan is in there to wrestle him to the ground. Well, it's what London didn't want. They didn't want to concede a try. They wanted really to score one, but at least, I suppose, from the European point of view, Rodgers didn't get the kick in successfully, so it's still just 10. But that's great defence from Cronulla again, restricting the Broncos to 29 metres on this set of 6, and Mattison with the kick downfield.
Not the best either, straight down to Richard Barnett. This guy really is dynamite. It was a big hit as well, and Peter Gill felt that. He's rolling around a little bit groggy. Big hit by Les Davidson.
So here they come again with Ettingshausen, and out wide it goes to Rodgers, and Rodgers cuts in field. Good tackling back though by Gill. Peachy was the dummy half. To the halfway line they go. It was Mattison's tackle, and it was on Greenhill. Now Danny Lee. Suddenly you get the feeling that the Sharks have upped the tempo, and it's back to 0, and the tackle count. London hand got on that loose ball. There's Davidson. Out wide it goes to McKenna. McKenna then pops the ball back up to Russell Richardson. Danger every time he gets it. Loose pass though over the top. Brilliantly picked up by Dykes. Their ball retention, even in difficult situations like that, is so sound. Here's Healy.
Well, you can see how easy now the Sharks are getting over the advantage line. That means that London are failing to move up quickly.
Davidson can't get through Dunford and Hamilton. They're 10 metres from the line though, with 3 tackles left, the Sharks. Trista to Healy. Healy to Dykes. Dykes long ball out wide, and it went through the hands of McKenna, and Richardson is able to pick up again, but they smother him in defence.
What strength from the centre though. Even though they made a really bit of a boo-boo, Roskell took the gamble. He came in off the wing there. It could have been try time if it had gone to hand.
A wrestling match. Rodgers trying to get away from Mestrov. Little kick from Healy straight into the arms of Mestrov, and they're all offside, the Cronulla Sharks.
Well, as soon as a little halfback put in that kick there was about 4 or 5 Cronulla players within the 10. If you're stood in front of the kicker, you must give the man who is receiving the football 10 metres before you can make any attempt to tackle him.
Nice ball. So London will come again. Beasley restarts. Here's Giles Thomas. Now Tollett.
I'm clear. Here I am.
Trista dumps him to the ground. Beasley again scampers into the dummy half roll. Andrew Hamilton. Beasley once more. Thomas. Still Thomas. Well, he's had a fine full debut as the young scrum half. Fatnauner. Score of a try in that first half.
Okay, roll off, release again.
Here's Tollett. Gill. Misses out Martin and finds Roskell. Oh, and Roskell, as he went up in the air, just slipped the pass out. Found touch, he didn't find the fullback.
Solid defence there. Look at that. Barnett just picked him up like a rag doll. Released the football. There was no one at home. Things not going right. Look at the body strength there from the winger.
Well, Roskell is the top try scorer in the World Club Championship from Europe's point of view, with 6 tries, and of course he's the club record try scorer here at London. 85 tries now. The best scorer in history, but he is one of the best fullbacks running around, David Peachy.
Time and time again, London finding it difficult to even get themselves squared up for 1 and 2 markers. That's how quick Cronulla are playing the football.
Lee plays it to Treaster, and he then gets the pass away to Ryan. Ryan takes some stopping, but he is just inside the 20-metre zone. Healy. Dykes shows it and pops the ball up beautifully, and that's going to be a try for it. No, Greenhill's just short. Craig Greenhill's just short of the line.
Knock on. Well, it looked all the world for scoring. I don't know how his eyesight is, but that's a white line about 4 inches away. But beautiful open play by the Sharks yet again. Give him 10 marks for trying. 100 marks for failing.
Hold on, fellas, hold it.
Tony Mestrov is leaving the scene of the action. Big push again at the scrum, but London get it this time. And the Fire takes the tackle. Mestrov's in the blood bin by the looks of things, so Matt Salter comes on. And that was Matt Salter's first run. Here's Gill.
Another
One
big
of the
hit
numerous
there.
runs from Gill.
A big hit by the winger, Richard Barnett. The Kiwi in fine form.
Good ball from Martin to Roskell.
No support though. He had the chance to offload. There was no one there.
Beasley to Matteson. Tollett. All wrapped up by Treaster.
Yeah, no penalty.
He felt that, did the hooker. He's out. Stray elbow, I feel.
Thomas, lovely little chip over the top, but Matt Rogers had read the situation perfectly.
Nice build-up, but Rogers equal to the task. He'd gone back. Giles Thomas, neat chip over. Great positioning, though. That's a flop.
Salter's
You've
penalised.
gone down late. You've gone in with that as well. Keep it out.
Not only a flop, says Stuart Cummings, but also nearly the elbow.
Indiscipline there by the substitute, Matt Salter.
Great Britain Academy tourist in 1996 he was.
There you see it. Well,
Go, Mitch.
silly play. That's not going to help the cause at a time when they really want to strike back. They need points badly to London.
Nice, Jim. Second 10.
Clock is ticking away.
And here's Les Davidson taking on Dunford and also
Okay,
Hamilton.
Here we go.
And Salter was in
Clear,
there as
clear.
well. Treaster scampering away, saw a little gap, and Matteson did well to stop him. The
And
tackle
two.
completed
Hit the
by
line.
Hamilton and
On the
Dunford.
line. Get out. Get out.
Rogers a dummy half. Misses out Lee and finds Healy. Healy to Dykes. Dykes out wide, it goes to Richardson again. Scrambling defence. Good defence too from Tony Martin. Dykes once more. Lee to drive it in. Spins, releases the pass. Dykes starts it all off again. Healy and Greenhill. Ryan. The hanging off him, and Ryan goes through Fatnauner and a Fire for his hat-trick. Sean Ryan comes up with 3 in the quarter-final, and the defence was found wanting out wide. Fatnauner and a Fire, they almost put out the welcome mat for Sean Ryan, and Sean Ryan wiped his feet on it.
Excellent play yet again, but ill discipline allowed Cronulla the possession to get themselves in this position. They kept the ball alive very well. They really have worked hard for each other. Healy and Dykes combining, ball out wide. Ryan just fended off Fatnauner with so much ease. Lee did well, kept it alive. You can see the Broncos defence at all at sea. Yet again, the combination. Greenhill this time got the ball out wide. Ryan, hat-trick time. This is the penalty that allowed Cronulla way deep into the Broncos quarter. And as soon as Lee offloaded this, you could see about 5 or 6 would-be defenders. They were caught short. They were always going to be caught 2-on-1. And Fatnauner was just not strong enough. Well fend here. See how he just moved the ball from the left hand to the right so that he could fend with the left. That's a superb effort.
Richard Branson, the new chairman, watching here at the Stoop, and his debut as chairman looks like it might be marked now with the exit door for the World Club Championship for the Broncos. Rogers, well, he's tried again from almost exactly the same point as he hit his last conversion attempt, and he still hasn't found the mark. 24 points to 10. Cronulla lead though.
Here you see Madison going in for the dummy runner. And a neat little pass again. They were always going to be confused. They're always going to be struggling. Well created by the Sharks. They're on fire now.
Salter, who gave away the penalty that allowed the Sharks in for that last try. Clean breaks, Cronulla 18, London only 5. That's the major difference between these two sides. But I must say, Steve-O, London giving a fine account of themselves when you consider what happened down under for Bradford and St Helens this weekend. Well and truly beaten. Wigan went close on Friday against Hunter Mariners, and London are doing themselves proud here.
Without doubt, and of course the 5 breaks coming in that first half. They did exceptionally well. The only problem is that Cronulla have also made 5 clean breaks after the restart. Nice kick from Tullett.
Great kick.
Let's get out of here. That's what he wants.
Tullett, of course, will be playing here at the Stoop throughout the winter. He begins his new career in the other code with the Harlequins after his season with London comes to an end. And it looks like that season might have around about 25 minutes left to play. But the gap's only 14 points, and the Broncos have done so well to stay this close. I'm sure they won't be waving any white flags. The hat-trick hero goes off, and back comes Nathan Long.
Pretty shrewd move there by John Lang, the Cronulla coach. Bring off the star second rower. He obviously feels that 14 points will be adequate, even though there's still plenty of time.
There's Nathan Long.
This kid really impressed me the way that he came on in the first half. He certainly stirred it up in the forwards, and the rest of the Cronulla pack, they followed him, and he was leading by example.
Well, he stands out like a beacon, doesn't he, with that bleach blonde hair. And we've seen him this year on the World of Super League, as I said, when he came on first half. That, meanwhile, was a great kick from Healy again.
Playing the percentages now, Cronulla Sharks realising, playing out the complement of 6. Remember, in the first half, Cronulla were quite happy to play the power play, run on the last tackle, but the experience of Healy realising that with a 14-point lead, let's just keep turning them around.
There he is, Nathan Long. His season's been hampered by injury. He was a substitute in the grand final as well. That was his first game in first grade since May. But he is a big favourite down at Shark Park. And no wonder, he's got a real belligerent style about him, hasn't he? Never takes a backward step. Wes Cotton has come on. And Nick Marden is the man to go off. Wes Cotton has missed the last 6.
Defence pretty prominent now from the Sharks, led by Chris McKenna. He's working overtime now as a loose forward. And big hits like that, Craig Greenall.
Missed tackle stats building up for London too, aren't they? 23 they've made now.
I hate to say it, but London looked very tired indeed. It was a superb effort in the first half, and I think it's taken its toll now.
Well, 60-minute mark is almost amen corner for the European teams in this competition. London have stuck with them so well. Here he goes, Long. The other fellow, of course, John Lang's son, left back home.
That'll be a penalty.
Penalty against Nathan Long.
He dropped it. He said it was being interfered with, and I can assure you, Mr. Long, that if you make a few little statements to the referee, he did the dying swan act. We don't give away Academy Awards in this country, Mr. Long. But he's had a fine match when he's being called upon.
Remember Martin Lang, Steve-O, John Lang's son in the first phase. He was a real bludgeoning runner as well, wasn't he? They've got some talent.
So much depth, haven't they? I mean, it's something that we keep repeating. They've got so many youngsters coming through in Australia, and we have to quickly sort that out in this country so that we can also get depth. Good defence there again by McKenna.
McKenna with the tackle. Gill just dropped the ball, and here's Peachy. They were in a good position then, the Broncos, when suddenly the ball just shot out of the hands of Peter Gill. And here they come again.
Good work
Richardson,
by Roskell on that occasion.
stuck to him like glue.
The Sharks quite happy though, Andy, now to get over the advantage line. He'll get up to play the ball quickly. This will where the link will come forth.
Healy spins away. 3 tackles, 54 metres made. Lee now gets over the advantage line again. He looked over the shoulder. Ettingshausen was steaming in.
See, they're very tired, Eddie, at the first and second markers. They've bombed it.
Yes, this is Van Nana. He has from Dykes, and he's given a beautiful ball to Martin. Now Tony Martin, he's quick, but is Barnett quicker? It's Martin racing for the line. What a try! What a try for Martin! His second. And I tell you something, Tony Martin has outpaced one of the fastest men in the game. Richard Barnett couldn't get to him, and Tony Martin kept the legs pumping, and he scored a fine try for London. This quarter-final's not done and dusted yet.
What a fillip for the side. It was a mistake. You can see that Rogers offloaded through. There was nothing the Dykes could do about it, and off he went. Van Nana picked up the loose ball. He fed him absolute superb pass. And the young centre, Martin, set sail. He keeps looking around, and the Kiwi said, where on earth has he got this speed? As Eddie said, one of the fastest men in rugby league. It looked as though it was going to be a try. Rogers did well. And you can see the ball went back on the inside. Dykes couldn't get to it. And look at the little fella's legs pump away. Richard Barnett, the Kiwi, tried and tried and tried. What speed from the youngster.
What a try from Tony Martin. As I said earlier, he's celebrating his 19th birthday on Tuesday. What a present those 2 tries have been for him. Fabulous try. And London are back in the hunt. Terry Matteson, who relinquished the kicking job after his 2 misses early. But Tony Martin, who has been taking over the kicking job, scored this try, and so Matteson will kick the extras himself. 24 points to 16. He's enjoying himself, the new London German. I'm not so sure his coach is.
There you see 3 Cronulla defenders go for Van Nana, and you can see the 2 Cronulla players out wide. They'd already started to move backwards, but it was too late. Amazing speed there. This game is far from over. They were looking very tired with the Broncos, but that will give them surely more energy.
Well, that will pep them up, there's no doubt about that. Matt Salter from the blood bin, Tony Mestrov returns.
Well, the one thing you can always say about the London Broncos this season, they've always dug deep, but
they're offside now.
Lack of concentration. Well, that's disappointing. After such a wonderful run, and what a great fillip by Martin, has given away a penalty. And I'm sure that the Sharks will be quite happy just to slow things down here. Nothing silly, use the big forwards.
Get back to me.
Well, what London want to do now is just stand firm and not give another try away, and then maybe build on that platform for a flourish of a finish. And your votes are now required for the man of the match. 0891 66 55 25, and we'll announce the winner, remember, on Wednesday in the World of Super League here on Sky Sports 1 at 8 o'clock. Dykes to Ettingshausen. What a tackle! Roskell! That was a tremendous tackle. Long is hauled down and nearly loses his jersey. Healy hoists the bomb, but that looks too deep. And it is.
Option was good. Well, you can see that the Cronulla Sharks perhaps are just feeling a bit shaky in the first half, and early in this second half they were quite prepared to keep the ball alive. Now they've opted for the bomb. It was something that surprised me. Mitch Healy, probably one of the better controlled kickers of the high bomb, especially to the 2 wingers, Matt Rogers and Richard Barnett, and that's the first time he's opted to use that.
Well, it's an outstanding effort from London, this, and here goes Beasley again.
He's had a big game as the hooker.
They're behind the 8 ball in terms of possession, London, but they are putting a smile or two back on the European game. And there's a fire. They're keeping this ball alive, Tollett. And just at the moment, the Sharks are starting to look a bit ragged, and Tony Curry knows that maybe another historic day could be on the way here.
Good work there by Mitch Healy. Getting to his opposite, Giles Thomas.
Gill with a little chip over the top. And that bounce deceives Peachy, and Gill's after him.
Oh, he was on his own there, Peter Gill. He should have had someone to help him.
Mattison got there eventually. Rogers. Now it's the Sharks' turn to try and keep this ball alive. Dykes disappears under the challenge of 3.
Lucky to get away with that. There was a swinging arm by Russell Borden.
Here's
Made
McKenna.
contact too.
Chris McKenna, formerly with London and Sheffield. He began, though, at Brisbane. Good defence, Martin. He's had a wow of a game, Tony. Oh, there's a Newsman elbow on Russell Bowden.
Well, what's happening to these touch judges? Half the crowd can see it.
Beasley's now flat out after that run from Long.
I think it was a stray knee on Beasley.
Here's Davidson. Round the corner it goes to Dykes. Beautiful hands to Ettinghausen. Ettinghausen gets away from Gill. Ball inside to Rogers. Great try. Fantastic try. But go back 2 or 3 minutes and look at the incident over on the far side, and should that try have been allowed to stand? There was definite use of an elbow, but Rogers got over for the try nonetheless.
Well, I just can't believe this. He has a little bit of a hit with him, and the referee and the touch judge thought that that was okay. And to be fair, he did not move the arm up. It wasn't an intention, but he certainly was into his face. But from broken play, they are so good. Dykes sets E.T. away. The experienced E.T., look how he just taunts them. Attracts the cover across. Rogers, like all good wingers should do, come back on the inside of the centre. Leaded well to keep it alive. Nice pass. Dykes set away. Lovely quick pass from Dykes. See how he just torments him in and out, E.T. He's had plenty of opportunities today. That is a fine try.
So Matt Rogers,
Hang on.
his try,
Hang on.
and the referee holds the clock up and stops Matt Rogers in his preparation, because Robbie Beasley is injured and he's hardly moved since he was clattered to the ground by one of those strong runs from Long. There it is.
Oh, he got his head right in the chest. That is a shame. Let's hope that he's okay. He's had an outstanding game. And you can see that the technique of any tackle should be to try to get the head to either side of the body, but oh, let's hope he's all right. He's obviously caught the head right on the center of the chest.
And then he was, I think he was probably unconscious when he hit the ground, because his head really hit the turf as well, didn't it? Let's hope he's all right. They're obviously very concerned about him.
Well, of course, these days they take every precaution, and rightly so. Very experienced medical staff here at the London Broncos, taking no risks whatsoever.
Hardly moved, Robbie Beasley. And his neck's gone into the brace. Let's hope that that is just purely and simply for precaution. He's smiling anyway, which hopefully is a good sign.
I'm just trying to see if there's any movement of the fingers. I think I saw a slight movement there, which is also a great sign too. Well, the crowd not too happy about an incident that was just before this. And you see the big fella there, and well, now then, was it the elbow from Long that went into the face? Either way, it's immaterial. The most important fact is, let's hope that this guy is okay. The game means nothing when you have an injured player like this. Well, this is the incident, and to be fair, it's
Nothing much, okay. He tried to give him a little bit of a facial, but it's not drafts, isn't this game?
And also, Bowden was hanging on to the jersey. Well, a long break in play, while Beasley is inched gingerly onto that stretcher. But it looks very serious, doesn't it? And let's hope that the news from down under the stands here is good, as the crowd gets to its feet and sympathetically gives Beasley a round of applause as he comes off, and he has had a fine match to this point.
Without doubt, for mine, the best player on the London Broncos side today. Well, a sad ending, really, for all the effort that the hooker has put in for this game. As Eddie mentioned, he's had an outstanding game.
Well, now, just remember what happened. Rogers got over for the try, and here he is now trying to improve matters again. 28 points to 16 at this point, and in off the post. He got closer and closer with every kick from this side of the field. It's 30 points to 16 now.
There you see the two defenders, and they're always going to get into a position where the ball would come out wide as soon as they committed themselves. Beautiful play though by E.T. Went in and out, sucked in the defence to him and offloaded at the right moment.
So 13 minutes of the match remaining. Here's Kim Howard. Kim Howard, the man who has replaced Robbie Beasley. Now Hamilton, shoulder into the chest of Greenhill. Danny Lee has gone off, and Jason Stevens returns. Bowden now, oh, straight into Long, flicks the pass. Stevens
play on.
Put that ball down.
Oh no, it won't, according to the official. Well, they're keeping the ball alive. They have to with the scoreline at 30 points to 16. They've got to go for it.
And the first one was by...
Well, the first one was up there, so Cronulla have been deemed as a knock-on.
Andrew.
And you can see there that it was the big prop forward Jason Stevens.
Gill gets it out the back of the scrum, and he gives it to Fat Nauna, who is grounded on halfway by Dykes. Matheson to Howard now. Remember the match that Kim Howard had earlier in this competition, came on as a substitute against Canberra and really had the game of his life, just kept going forward and forward all night. Bowden now loses it to pick up the pieces there.
Back to 6.
Was Thomas, yes. Back to 0, says Stuart Cummings. Fat Nauna again. Seems to have been everywhere, Butch Fat Nauna.
Still 11 and a half minutes remaining, so a quick try here. A glimmer of hope, perhaps. They will not throw the toweling.
Tollett. Bowden. Defence stands firm again. McKenna was in there low down. Matheson. And this now is Hamilton. 2 tackles left in this set of 6, and it's with Tollett. Now Gill, who just juggled with it, and the ball shot out. Oh, and somehow Roskill managed to hang on to that. And they will launch again here with young Thomas. That's the last one. Matheson hoists the kick. Well claimed again by Barnett.
Good high kick there from Madison. The Broncos skipper really lofted it high, but what a tremendous leap by the Kiwi international.
And they're away. Ettinghausen is away, and he's waiting for support. He's taking on Fat Nauna, and Fat Nauna did well.
He's had a big game too.
Here's Healy.
Got to be offside. Gill made no attempt to get back from that play of the ball. He was injured in back play. It's pretty difficult to stop yourself from doing this when you find a man right in front of you. He's given his all as Peter Gill, but the skill factor, I think, from the Cronulla Sharks have really carried them through.
Dykes, that's a good ball. Round the corner goes from Richardson. How did he pick that up? They've lost it though. McKenna lost it. But they've now been given a penalty by Stuart Cummings.
Again, very tight to get back. Well, it's the right decision. The crowd not too happy about it. And it could have been an offside situation where one of the players coming back.
I think Bowden got a touch of the ball in the tackle and it came back to a man standing in front, or was it Roskill anyway? No matter. The Sharks are in possession 10 metres from the line. And what's more, it's Greenhill again.
No hands.
Rogers in at dummy half. Healy to the big man Long. Tollett did well. With a bit of help from Kim Howard. But they're 5 metres short of the line now. Healy again. Back to McKenna. And McKenna looking for a try against his old club. Gets the pass away to Rogers once more. And Rogers, as he falls, gives it to E.T. And out wide it goes. And there's a try here for Peachy. David Peachy, who had moved up to support the attack, comes up with the 4 points that I think clinches Cronulla Sharks' place in the semi-final. It'll be an all-Australasian lineup then in the last 4.
As we've seen from all the 4 games in the quarterfinals, the Australians have the ability to turn and twist in the tackle, keep the ball alive, never say die attitude. Tremendous effort this. Gone through about 8 or 9 pairs of hands, long ball out wide. Roskill was caught, but it's the ability to just keep this ball alive that is so outstanding from the Australian side. As soon as the defence gets sucked in, once you get 2 or 3 defenders into it, you're always going to be caught with the overlap. And Peachy, who's got a 5 match too, finishes off with a 4-pointer.
The fancy will be seeing Mr. Peachy on the Australian tour. Fine full-back, as we mentioned in our commentary on Friday, though. They are blessed in Australia with some of the best full-backs in the business, and there's the Cronulla coach who's now wearing a smile that says we're in the semi-finals. And I wonder whether he'll be smiling at the end of the Australian Test series, which begins right here in London on the 1st of November. Wembley Stadium, of course, the venue where we'll be seeing some of these great stars from Australia once again. Rogers misses with the conversion attempt. Cronulla 34 points to 16 ahead here at the Stoop. And it's going to be an all-Australasian semi-final lineup, as I say, as Tony Curry begins the inquest into what has gone wrong in this second half. But he must also look, I think, Steve-O, at the things that have gone right. It's been a fine effort from the Broncos, this.
Yes, there's quite a lot of positive things there that he can look upon, but we keep saying it, and we keep repeating the fact that we do struggle in this country to last the full 80 minutes. But they can walk off this field with a lot of pride. They are meeting what I classify as the second best rugby league team in the world. And the 3 quarters alone in the Cronulla outfit are so outstanding, you're obviously going to run out of steam.
And let's hope that Great Britain don't run out of steam at Wembley Stadium. The Test series, remember, here on Sky Sports, begins Saturday, November the 1st at 1:30. We'll be on air. The game itself starts at 2:30. We have an hour's build-up. And I'm sure you'll agree that any self-respecting Super League fan, any self-respecting Rugby League fan, will be at Wembley for the start of that Test series. It will be an outstanding 3-match series, there's no doubt about that. And although the World Club Championship has gone against us in the quarter-finals, Andy Goodway remains confident that he can produce 17 players and maybe more who can give the Aussies a real run for their money. And it all begins November the 1st at Wembley. And Steve-O, it's something we have been looking forward to for many a year.
Well, we've seen some outstanding play from the Australians. You should not miss it if you're a rugby league fan. The ironic thing about it is that a lot of these young Cronulla 3-quarters perhaps may not make that tour. They can only bring over so many, thankfully. With the like of Matt Rogers, Richard Barnett, Russell Richardson, Barnett's the Kiwi, but Rogers and Richardson, they may miss out, surprisingly.
Well, earlier we saw Robbie as Peachy sets off on another run, goes round Fatnauna and scores underneath the post. Another try for Cronulla. Peachy's second. A quick 1-2 from David Peachy, and The petrol is beginning to run out of the engine for the London Broncos, but thankfully Robbie Beasley, with a touch of ice maybe on the back of the neck, but he is A-OK by the looks of things, and that's great to see. We'll have an in-depth report on Beasley's condition shortly from Bill.
You can have all the skills you want, but that has pleased me no end to see that the hooker Beasley is okay, but this guy really has got the skills, hasn't he? David Peachey. So many great fullbacks out there, but as I keep mentioning, the Aussies can only bring so many. Will he make the tour? I think he will. I think he'll bring 2 with Lockyer.
Great fullback David Peachey, debut in 1994 and more than 60 appearances now. And Matt Rogers now with the conversion attempt from bang in front. He adds 2 more to the Sharks total. London 16, Cronulla 40. The Aussies are on their way to the semi-final. Let's go down to Bill and get that medical report on Robbie Beasley. Bill, he looks all right.
Yeah, good news, Eddie. He's up and about. The neck brace was kept on, as you said, at the time as a precaution, but he was out cold, and really there was a lot of concern about him at that stage. He did come round. I've just been speaking to him, actually. He's still a bit groggy. I asked him what the last thing he remembered was, and he said it was a sort of white flash. And I said, oh, that was Nathan Long. He came in and clobbered you.
You're absolutely right, he did. Actually, it was a bit of a clumsy tackle by Robbie Beasley, to be fair, but Steve-O is a man mountain, isn't he? Him and Martin Lang, dearie me.
Not many olive oils play this game, Eddie.
So he's the Bluto then, is he?
Yes. No, I think it will take more than spinach to get London back into this game. Still, full credit to them. Full credit to both sides. It's been an entertaining game. We have seen some quite outstanding efforts and tries scored today. A little bit of a high one there by Nathan Long. This will set the crowd off and clapping.
Tony Martin's had an excellent game. He disappears from the scene.
There's the incident. Howard would have felt it. Good utility forward, though. The way that John Lang uses him, brings him on and off, especially today, has worked wonders.
Well, count the Broncos just give us something to remember, because I rather fancy we're entering the last 2 minutes of their season. Martin Afire, of course, will continue for Great Britain, training for that test series. He's in the train-on squad. Thinks, despite the fact that he's got 33 caps, he still has something to offer. And I wonder what the Broncos have got to offer here in the last minute or so. Here is Afire. From a standing start, dumps the ball, bounces it into the arms of Wes Cotton. Marden, last tackle.
Good defence again from the Cronulla Sharks. They really did step up a gear in the second half.
Crossfield kick from Tollett. Underneath it is Jeff Bell.
Took it well under a lot of attention by Hamilton there. I mean, a confident performance though by the Sharks. There you see the replay of the good take by Jeff Bell. But the one thing that's really impressed me has been the ability of Dykes and Healy to combine so well. Once the Sharks forward started getting over the advantage line, they really set things going for the 3/4 out wide.
Any consolation for Tony Curry in the fact that the gap isn't as big as some of the defeats we've seen in this tournament? Well, that's a measured reflection on the question.
I was having a drink.
Are you going to answer me?
Might do.
Big kick downfield, and Roskill can do nothing to stop the ball finding touch.
I think he was quite happy, Roskill, just to see that ball go over the whitewash. That'll eat up the seconds.
There's a final siren. Great effort from London, but it's Cronulla Sharks who go on to the semi-final by a margin of 40 points to 16. Mitch Healy. Well, many people thought that the combination of Healy and Dykes might be a problem because of Paul Green's departure, and also, of course, the fact that Tawera Nikau wasn't out there. But Cronulla had enough to beat a spirited London side who took them every inch of the way until maybe the last quarter of an hour. Butch Patnauna had a fine game, crowned it with a try, but Tony Martin with 2 tries will remember this game for a long, long time to come, and so will this young man. Giles Thomas played really well, particularly in the first half. Okay, he faded a bit maybe during the course of the second half, but certainly one for the future, and I'm sure that Tony Curry will be highly encouraged by his display. Well, we'll see Andrew Ettingshausen and the rest of these Cronulla players in the semi-final now. They go on to meet the Hunter Mariners in the semi-final. Auckland and Brisbane will compete in the other. Matt Rogers just enjoying the moment, but I don't know whether Russell Bowden and the Broncos will have enjoyed the moment quite so much, although they did give one of the best in the world a real good account of themselves. 40 points to 16 then. Now then, still to come tonight here at 9:30, it's European golf highlights of day 4 of the German Masters. That's followed at 10:30 by action from today's Superbikes races from Japan, and at midnight it's live wrestling from the World Wrestling Federation. Over on Sky Sports 2 at 10:30, golf from the US PGA, highlights of day 4 of the Buick Challenge, followed at 12:30 by Football League Review. And more football on Sky Sports 3 at 9:30. Today's big Premiership clash between Liverpool and Chelsea, followed at 11 by Spanish football as Real Madrid take on Deportivo. That's all still to come tonight here on Sky Sports 3 channels. Right here after the break, though, we look back on this victory for the Cronulla Sharks. A highly creditable account of themselves from the London Broncos. But it's Cronulla who march in to the semi-finals of the World Club Championship.